The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is 5 strategies to discover business ideas from employees. And our guest speaker today are Kiran Sabnis. He is the principal architect at Innovation, and Sai Prakash Bilsare. He is the head innovation and manager with Fiserv India. Kiran Sabnis heads the user experience and innovation groups at Fiserv India. He holds a master's degree in product design from Industrial Design Center, IIT Bombay, and has over 20 years of rich experience in the domain of user experience design and innovation consulting. Prior to joining Fiserv, he worked with various MNCs like IBM, Tech Mahindra, and GE Global Exchange Services, where he was instrumental in strategizing, developing, institutionalizing, and maturing UX practice across the global organizations. Sai Prakash Bilsare is an innovation evangelist at Fiserv India who has hands-on and minds-on experience of designing and managing organization-wide innovation programs for Fiserv, iGate, and Patni Computers. Besides his global delivery experience with Emerson, his key focus areas including generating associate ideas for new products, solutions, service lines, maturing ideas into business cases, anchoring intensive boot camps, reusing technology assets, innovation workshops, and fostering a culture of innovation. Sai was a key contributor in iGate's win at the prestigious Golden Peacock Innovation Management Award 2012 and filed a patent for a business solution. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speakers. Over to you, Kiran.
Hey, thanks a lot, Aradhana, and it was a great introduction, and I thank TechGig for giving us an opportunity to present this 5 strategies to discover business ideas from employees. I am Kiran Sabnis, and I'm going to introduce you about Fiserv first. So Fiserv, the acronym is from Financial Services. We are one of the leading enterprises in BFSI domain, banking, financial services, and insurance. Having a very diverse client base, and it has got corporate office in Brookfield, Wisconsin, US, and also we have got a strong presence in India with around 4,000 associates located in Pune, Noida, Bangalore, and Chennai. If we look at Fiserv's portfolio, we are in digital channels, electronic payments, and ACH. We are number 1 in online banking solutions, number 1 in mobile banking solutions, number 1 in bill pay and e-bill network, and number 1 in P2P, that is peer-to-peer, account-to-account, and ACH. We are market leaders, having a strong base of 60 million online banking users and 7 million mobile banking users. And in space of electronic payments, 23 million active bill pay users and 55 million debit accounts. So with this, a brief introduction about Fiserv, I would say that if you are interested in knowing about Fiserv, it's a great idea to visit www.fiserv.com. Now, shifting to agenda of today's webinar is we would be talking about specific strategies that we have used to discover and mature employee ideas, and not we are talking about specific ideas specific details about this discovered by us for a reason that it's a Fiserv intellectual property. We'll be touching base case studies of live experiments done by practitioners like us. And please don't expect a cookie cutter approach or a template or encyclopedia of approaches. We'll be covering, and you can very well expect, empirical research insights based on observations and various outcomes. And don't expect that we'll be covering and talking about abstract theoretical models, huge theory, and kind of a big quantitative research. So it would be a pragmatic and practical approach we'll be talking about today. Moving to the next slide, I'll set a context for today's presentation. How often do we see these products? I'm sure each one of at least once would have used these products. Left one is Post-it notes. Middle one, I'm sure many of you would have loved now also using your Gmail account. And the right one is Band-Aid, which is adhesive bandages. So guys, whenever we are using this next time, please say thanks to these products, because these ideas have come from the associates like you and me. And why we should thank these products is because the organizations which fostered these innovative ideas and converted them into solutions. So such many ideas have come, but these are very flagship kind of ideas, and we must say thanks to this. This is cool, isn't it? So these ideas have come, we have been using. Why not, or from where such ideas come, or how can we discover such interesting ideas? To do this, let's understand the macro picture, the broader picture, the bigger picture, and understand what is the context of innovation as on today. We all know the global trends are affecting our business because there is a rapid advances and changes happening in technology space. Our customers are becoming very demanding and demographic shifts are happening. Global economic power is shifting from west to east to west, so on and so forth, and hyper competitive commoditized global market space. With these four things, and similarly there could be many. So the global trends are affecting the way we do the business. To face this, we definitely rely on doing something different, and that something different is innovation capability. We at Fiserv are focusing more on this innovation capability. And this capability is not a traditional R&D approach sitting in a glass cabin and doing some theoretical models. No. The trend is changing, the businesses are transforming, so we have to go beyond this R&D. And this is what we are talking about, innovation capability, and that's the primary strategy to fuel the growth. How such ideas will come? How to have this innovation capability? What are the sources of ideas? Top down? Yes, our CXOs of the world, our top leaders provide a vision and goal and mission, their aspirations, where we want to reach in 3 years, 5 years, so on and so forth. So from top, the sources of ideas can come. Outside in, so customers, where we have been working, and we are working very closely with our end customers. So the feedbacks and insights come from the customers. As I said, technology and markets are changing, so we get some feeds from that saying that, hey, the technology is changing, we need to improve upon. Competitive intelligence is there. Mergers and acquisitions and partnerships are happening. And open innovations like alliances with educational institutes, universities. So these are the leads by which we can get, these are the sources of getting new ideas. But very importantly, there is a great source of ideas which is inside, and what we call as the inside out. So we have got, and I'm sure many of you who are attending this webinar would be working in various organizations, and there would be existing R&D research and development teams. There are centers of excellence from their ideas would come. There is a possibility of having dedicated innovation task force, and very important is from employees we can source these ideas. So employees is going to be the focus of today's presentation. So what kind of employees, what kind of opportunities can employees come up with? So number one is they are day in, day out working with the products on the field. So improving the productivity, enhancing the quality, reducing the cycle time are some of them. They work, as I said, with customers to solve a technology problem or business problem. So they can come up with various opportunities which can address the unmet needs of the customers. They can help us with the opportunities in reducing time to respond consumer needs. Or there are some regulatory compliances, changes in the regulatory or governance, so they can provide some inputs on that. Since the employees are working with various products and solutions, the opportunities can be for improving the products, improving the features, improving the capabilities, and also because the technology is emerging, technology is changing, we can get the opportunities and ideas from employees in that space as well. So what are the specific challenges in the pursuit of innovation? So challenges are like converting those aha or wow moments into systematic innovation. We all get a lot of thoughts, lot of ideas every day, but how to convert those ideas into tangible and systematic innovation process is one of the challenges we need to face. We need to come up. Speed at which the technology is advancing, it's changing at a rapid pace, and of course the non-secret, and it's a very, very important, is innovation culture. How to create, nurture and inculcate the culture of innovation. Which person, it's a very fuzzy to define innovation, influence the innovation, leverage the innovation. But we at Fiserv have been trying very hard to overcome these challenges and take us to the next step. How we have done this, my colleague Sai, who is the innovation manager, will be talking about the 5 strategies that we use to overcome the challenges and how we can discover the business ideas from associates. So with this, I will hand it over to Sai and we'll reconvene at the time of questions. Thank you. Over to you, Sai.
Thanks, Dr. Kiran, and warm good afternoon to everybody on call. Before we get started, I just wanted to give you a quick background about what is this innovation all about. So when you interact with your colleague, you would get a lot of views when you talk about innovation. So just talk about innovation with your colleague, you might listen. Oh, innovation is a buzzword. Somebody might say it happens only in the Googles and Apples of this world, and can we really innovate? Or some people might have a perception that it is just an SME job to think and come up with solutions, and team members are just expected to do their job, whatever is the task is assigned to them. Or some managers have this view that employees are already getting paid for their job, and isn't it expected that they share their business ideas? And of course, many people believe that the most difficult part in the entire innovation journey is to discover a wow idea. So unless we get that wow idea, we cannot really be very successful. By the way, all of these are really the myths. What is the reality? The reality is, to make innovation part of organization's DNA, every day we eat, breathe and sleep everything about innovation only. It requires a long-term organization-wide change management. Now we will look at how the innovation ecosystem that we are talking about can be really built. Now, if we talk about innovation, it's not really about generating or discovering ideas. though we are going to focus only on the discover idea phase of the entire innovation life cycle as part of this webinar, innovation is a long journey. For innovation to happen, let me quickly share how this innovation journey happens. For innovation to happen, we need to be extremely curious. We need to observe the market trends, customer requirements, changing aspirations of customers, changing technologies, and understand and articulate specific insights which are going to trigger the innovation journey. Having
I'm really
got the
sorry to
insight,
interrupt, Mr. Sai Prakash.
Yeah.
I think there's a little audio problem at your end. Can you please check?
Am I audible now?
No, I think your mic is giving a little problem. Can you disconnect and reconnect?
Okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, can you speak
Hello?
a little? Yeah, can you speak a little away from the mic? I think that's why we are having this double noise. Can we please talk, say something?
Am I audible now?
Yes, this is better. This is better.
Okay, thanks a lot. Sorry for the inconvenience, guys. So I guess this slide is visible, clearly audible, right, Aravana?
Yes, it is, but I would request you to keep the mic a little away from your mouth so that there's no echoing sound.
Sure, sure. Okay, so let's come back, guys. So what we are talking about is specific strategies that we tried, we experimented, so that we come up with how do we influence the innovation culture, how do we come up with sharp and focused ideas. So just to get started, we talked about innovation is a journey and idea discovery is just a part of it. Now in this webinar, though we are going to focus only on idea discovery, innovation is a long journey, starting from articulating specific innovation challenges to generating focused ideas, maturing these ideas into business cases and prototypes so that the leadership can take informed decisions and make choices, okay, whether this is the idea where we want to put our money. And once that decision is made, then the next journey of idea incubation starts. We work closely with the customers, beta customers, so that we mature the idea with the customer, get their inputs and create a new product or a solution or a new service, and finally take it to market, commercialize. So that's a long journey, and during this workshop we are going to focus on the specific aspect of idea discovery. So let me show you a quick diagram which will help us identify which are the specific elements in this idea discovery phase. Now this idea discovery, now what we are seeing now is a highly oversimplified version, but this is going to help us to understand the critical stakeholders. So for idea discovery, there is always an idea seeker who is typically the sponsor of the ideation activity that we are doing, and for basically seeking the ideas from the associates or the ideators or the employees which are located across the globe. Now to help the ideators share these ideas, what we really need is an innovation ecosystem. Now we will talk in depth what is this innovation ecosystem about. And of course, the outcomes that we get at the end of this idea discovery journey is the ideas that we get out of this ideation activity, as well as there is a direct impact on the organization culture. Now this is basically a both-way process. We try to enhance and improve on the organization culture, because of which associates come up with fresh ideas, they are motivated and engaged, and they share those ideas. At the same time, because of the ideas generated and when people actually start looking at the results, that associates' ideas are valued by the organization and taken to closure, that also affects the innovation culture. So this is a very simplified, oversimplified diagram of how we discover ideas. There is an idea seeker who is reaching out to the associates, ideators. Innovation ecosystem basically helps the ideators to discover those ideas, capture those ideas, process them, and then finally the outcomes are ideas discovered, as well as there is an impact on organization culture. So when we talk about these 5 strategies, what is that we have essentially done? we have done some revamp or fine-tuning of specific aspects in each one of these areas. How the idea seeker reaches out to the ideators, how the ideators respond to it, how the ecosystem is designed and institutionalized, what kind of ideas that we get, and how do we measure the effectiveness of these ideas, and what is the impact on the organization culture. So throughout this slides that we have next, we are going to talk about specific aspects, what we have done differently for the idea seeker, what we have done differently for the ecosystem, and how it has impacted the ideas that we discovered as well as the culture. So now let me showcase you the top 5 strategies that we have actually experimented. So this is a list of the strategies. Again, we are not making a claim that we have invented them. These are some of the best practices. What we have really done is we have implemented all of this, and we have got experience from best of the best organizations in the world, and at each stage I must say there were lots of learning. So the way we are going to go through these strategies is I will talk about the need for the specific strategy, how did we go about it, what was the impact on the ideas that we created, the kind of innovation culture that we could sense, and finally what are the learning, and getting those learnings, thinking again and improving upon the strategy. So that is how the entire flow is going to be. So first the strategy is ad hoc ideation, second is about establishing an innovation ecosystem, third is about having a time-bound ideation challenge, fourth is having an immersive boot camp, and fifth is hybrid ideation. So let's go through all of these strategies and try to understand what are those learnings at each one of these stages. Now around an year back, when we started conceptualizing this entire innovation framework at Fiserv India, we were designing, we were studying a lot of industry best practices. At the same time, suddenly one of our customers in the UK approached us. The customer was facing a specific challenge. The customer wanted us to help them create some technology solutions which will help them provide a next generation banking experience for their consumers. Now it was a very interesting challenge to face, and what we, of course our subject matter experts were contributing to create new solutions, but that was one time that we thought that okay, why don't we quickly do some experiment and reach out to our associates, our employees, and try to sense what kind of ideas we can get. So this was the time when we experimented with the first strategy. The idea discovery strategy is ad hoc ideation. Of course, the challenge was to capture employee ideas very quickly for the new business opportunities. We reached out to one of our senior leaders, and the leader became the sponsor for running this strategy. Now this leader wrote a series of emails to our employees seeking specific ideas from these employees. We also use a lot of creative mailers and creative campaigns, reaching out to people, conducting meetings, face-to-face meetings. A lot of it was done. But when we actually started sensing what is the pulse of our market, pulse of our employees, we thought that we could sense that there are a lot of employees who are just dreamers. Now these guys are the typical guys who are saying, oh wow, I have this $1 million idea, why don't you take it ahead? Or there were some followers who are saying, I have this idea but I'm not sure what's going to happen. Is it so relevant to my day-to-day work? So there were some followers. There were some collaborators who believed that, okay, give me some work, I will be able to contribute a lot, I will be able to collaborate with a lot of people. So when it comes to implementation, I can play a great role, but when it comes to generation of ideas, I am clueless. There were some enthusiastic people, but they did not know what to do about this challenge. And finally, there were a set of subject matter experts. Some of them believed that this is a great opportunity, let me share an idea. But there were quite a few who believed, okay, what's in it for me? Why should I share this idea? And I have a direct connect with the customer. I can just go ahead and share my idea there. Why should I share my idea as part of this challenge? So it was a very interesting proposition when we actually approached our organization with just sending some EDM, some mailers and reaching out to them to seek business ideas. This was again a great learning. This was a deep stick approach that we took. But what we discovered, after spending 1 month, we could just discover 22 ideas, out of which only 8 ideas were relevant and only one idea was worth pursuing further in terms of quality and depth of the ideas, and we could not see any significant impact on our organization culture. Now, as we mentioned, the organization culture impacts a lot when it comes to generating ideas from employees. And just by sending a mailer from the senior leadership with some meetings and creative communication, it was not working at all. We clearly understood that there was something which was missing. So, critical takeaway is that strategy 1. There was nothing that was working well, and we clearly understood that people were a little confused. They did not have the competency to come up with business ideas. When a task is given, they were extremely proficient for completion of the task, but when it came to generation of fresh business ideas, they were clueless. Also, I think we couldn't grab the attention of the employees. There are so many such corporate initiatives happening around, and this mail just got buried into their mailboxes. Also, possibly some of the ideators or employees were not motivated enough. And finally, we realized that what we really need is a well-structured method and tool which will help us attract, mature, and help our ideators collaborate around these ideas and also review these ideas. So at this stage, it was clearly an eye-opener for us, and it clearly revealed the need for having an innovation ecosystem. An innovation ecosystem where we provide structured competency development programs for the employees. We also do some kind of creative branding about this innovation initiative so that it catches attention and it is positioned as a cool yet a business critical initiative, not just an employee engagement initiative. Also, we realized that there is a clear need for having some rewards and recognition for the employees. So, as we discussed earlier, a myth is since employees are getting paid, it is expected that they will come up with business ideas. No, we will need to have some fresh ways of rewarding and recognizing those specific smart ideators who are taking the lead and sharing their ideas. Also, we realize there is a clear need that we need to have structured method and tool to attract these ideas. So that's where we came to a conclusion that we need to invest into a well-structured innovation ecosystem. And that's where we go from our ad hoc ideation to innovation ecosystem. Now, this is an interesting stuff. What we created is a collaborative ecosystem which provided an innovation portal and collaborative innovation portal where people can share their ideas, people can rate and comment around other ideas, and also there were evaluation teams which were part of the subject matter experts reviewing these ideas. Creative communication and branding was done. If we discover some specific ideas which are worth patenting, we had set up the mechanisms to protect the IP. Of course, rewards were there, and we provided templates for people so that they can create those ideas in a specific format. The typical business case, the basic business case that people need as part of the idea. So what we are trying to do is establish an ecosystem for fostering innovation, and then basically on an ongoing basis people can share this idea. And what was the outcome? So this is how we basically created the ecosystem. We had a collaborative idea management portal. Providing the portal is not enough. People need a lot of hand-holding. So that's why we came up with idea nurturing processes. Rewards and recognition scheme was put in place. We started conducting lots of workshops because we believed that sending emails to all or putting some posters is a very passive way of reaching out to our employees. In fact, we use innovation workshop to inspire our associates, help them understand what is this innovation about and what is it when we talk about innovation at Fiserv, and what are the specific methods and tools that they can use. And this is again a great thing that I think organizations should attempt. Also, we start doing a lot of events for inspiring the associates for creative problem solving. So on the top left that we see is the event by Giri Premi, which have basically inspired our associates for creative problem solving. This is a group of mountaineers who have conquered Everest. So again, talking about some extremely different domains, people have tried some fresh ways of coming up with solutions. So also having some events, showcase of ideas, and we started sending out the stories of creating fresh ideas. So all of this, the portal, having innovation workshops, having events, showcase of the ideas that we have discovered, and sending innovation stories, this really helped us create a buzz within the organization and engage with associates in a very active way. And what was the outcome? Even after spending so much of effort, were we successful? Here we go. After spending 9 months trying to establish this ecosystem, what we got? Around 80 ideas. Relevant ideas were only 8, and ideas worth pursuing further, only 3. Again, this is something, again, a realization. What was working, we tried to understand. Again, the impact on the organization culture was again low to moderate. At this stage also, we had a lot of learnings. Of course, what was working now is having a structured ecosystem to help engage with our employees and foster innovation culture. That was clearly working well, looking at a number of ideas. But what was missing? The relevance of ideas for us. It was clearly a gap. So we kept getting ideas like improving quality of food or improving the transportation, those kind of ideas. But what we wanted is real business ideas. Inflow of ideas was again unpredictable. So in few months we were getting lots of ideas. In some other months we were not getting any ideas. Also, the depth of business cases and prototype was little primitive. And that's where we clearly understood that our associates are technologists. They clearly understand the technology well, but when it comes to articulating a business case, what is the problem statement, what is the solution, what is the kind of USP that idea brings, they still need some more effort, some more help. Of course, the iterations over ideas were missing. So people were coming up with ideas, they were sharing, but refining those ideas again and again and again, it was not happening. Also, the whatever specific ideas were coming, it was not compelling enough for the ideators to share their business ideas. So we still need to work on the rewards and recognition part of it. So this was the strategy too. You remember we started with the ad hoc ideation, where sending an email to all the employees seeking their business ideas, it was not working. Then we came up with this innovation ecosystem, where we provided structured training, provided a portal, created processes and methods around it, provided incubation support, idea facilitation, and also started creating some events, started running some events. So even after that, we could generate some awareness and buzz in the organization, but possibly that predictability of ideas was still missing. And that's where we again went back to our drawing boards, started looking at the best-in-class practices. That's where we came up with the next strategy, which is a time-bound ideation challenge. Clearly the focus was on improving the relevance as well as predictability of employee ideas. Now this is where we of course leveraged the ecosystem that we had, and we created an idea funnel, a stage gate idea review process around which this entire innovation campaign was run. We shared a very focused business challenge for our employees. There were clearly defined rewards and recognition, timelines were defined. These are the 2.5 weeks during which we are going to elicit ideas. This is how the reviews are going to happen. This is where the results are going to be announced, and these are the rewards that you are going to get. Clearly, it was a more structured process. We had articulated how the ideas would be generated, how the ideas would be matured, how those would be reviewed. The review panels were identified upfront. All of these efforts were basically to improve the relevance of ideas, quality and depth of ideas, predictability of ideas, and ensuring that the ideas are quickly processed. Because the moment we spend some more time for idea reviews, slowly but surely employees get little concerned what is happening to those ideas. So this is where we realize there is a need for rapid reviews and completing the entire cycle in a very structured and a very defined way. And what were the outcomes? After having run a time-bound ideation challenge around a specific business problem, the outcomes that we could generate, for a duration of 3 weeks, we could generate 135 ideas, out of which relevant number of ideas were 30. The quality and depth of ideas were little improving. We got around 5 ideas which were really worth pursuing further. It was a predictable inflow. So this was the duration where we received a lot of ideas, and we could do multiple review cycles, announce the results, and this is where we could get some control over how the ideas are coming inside the system. What was still a maze for us is impact on organization culture. We had improved a bit, but possibly we were still struggling to improve our organization culture. What were the key learnings at this stage? Of course, large number of relevant ideas were generated in a short span. That was clearly a good win. We were getting predictable flow of ideas. There was a lot of enthusiasm. We were able to tap those creative sparks available in the pockets. When we are running such a program for a global organization, it's very important to tap these pockets, to excite the associates to share their ideas. Of course, what was not working? Iterations or ideas was not working, because once you come up with an idea, you need somebody to challenge your idea, somebody to criticize your idea, and that's when really you improve on ideas. So those iterations over ideas are extremely important. Also, it was taking a long time for taking these ideas to the next level. Depth of business cases was still missing. Now again, this was identified as a critical capability that we need to improve on. Our associates are technologists, and we need to provide them some facilitation, some support for creating business cases for those ideas, because this is a classic conflict in any innovation program. The ideators, when they are sharing their ideas, they believe that they are already doing something over and above their job. They are sharing their creative intellect with the company, and also at the same time, company expects to invest into those ideas where they see business value. So ideators are expected to do a lot of iterations over the ideas and create a business case, but somewhere there is a disconnect, and that's what we try to address in our strategy 4. Also, people are extremely busy on their day-to-day work, and they had limited bandwidth for creating those business cases. So that's where we understood that people are passionate, but possibly they are not able to contribute for maturing those ideas further. Clearly, we needed something to ensure that they get that bandwidth. Of course, there was no clear mechanism for conversion of ideas to solution, and only a handful of ideas were ready with business cases. So with this understanding, believe me guys, it was indeed a roadblock. We were facing so many challenges. Somehow we were struggling to overcome this roadblock. We were able to generate lots of ideas, but we were unsure what to do when we take these ideas. How do we improve the depth of these ideas, relevance of these ideas, and how do we influence our culture? And it was time. We were forced to go back to our drawing boards, research the best-in-class practices. We also, of course, looked at the 20% time policy that Google talks about, providing dedicated time for people to work on their own ideas. Again, was it feasible or not? We kept questioning ourselves. We also looked at multiple strategies: idea incubation cell, idea innovation sandbox that C.K. Prahlad has proposed. We also looked at different models: idea bootcamp, FedEx Ship Day, Kaizen Blitz events, hackathon. All of this was focused on getting our ideators together and providing them a bandwidth to work on their ideas, and also ensuring that they are committed to contribute for idea maturing. And that's when we came up with the next strategy, idea bootcamp, immersive learning experience for our associates. Clearly the challenge was to discover and mature ideas rapidly in an immersive environment. Now this is a very interesting experiment that we did. What we did here, we identified a sponsor, we identified specific ideators. They were shortlisted through a selection process. These were the passionate people who brought domain, technology, market intelligence, and all the aspects that are critical for creating an idea. These ideators were taken for an off-site boot camp for a duration of 7 days. Now this is where they worked on exploring a lot of specific focus areas in the banking landscape. They were provided specific insights about the industry, how industry is happening. We invited some experts from the industry. There were lots of sleepless nights, anxiety. What we achieved by doing all of this, we could create an environment where ideators started putting their skin in the game. I think that was one of the very differentiating factor than running a contest kind of a thing. This was one place where ideators came and they accepted the challenge on their own. They accepted that, okay, we are here, we are the handpicked people, and we are here to come up with the fresh new ideas for the company. And that immense pride and immense recognition pumped in a lot of energy into them, and we use specific methods and tools to extract the creative energies out of those people. What we really did is we did multiple iterations of ideation. We quickly came up with clickable prototypes and business cases. And finally, what we could achieve, we discovered 10 innovation focus areas and around 135 quick ideas. Excellent. What we really did, for a duration of 1 week, the kind of ideas that we could discover are 150. Relevant ideas are still 10, but the depth and quality of ideas was clearly better, and there were multiple iterations over these ideas. And we could really see the impact on organization culture. By investing into this kind of a boot camp, we could demonstrate the organization's commitment for innovation. And also we celebrated teamwork and collaboration. All of those, possibly the knowledge castles, we could bring them together. And the clear learnings were, it was an excellent way to take handpicked ideators to an immersive experience so that ideators put their skin in the game. This was the key. Also, we could generate a large number of ideas. And by the way, what are the limitations of this approach? It is a little expensive, extreme efforts are required, and also what we realize is we need to involve the critical stakeholders like customers and subject matter experts as key partners. And also, since we had taken only this 11 to 15 people for this boot camp, possibly we had missed out on crowdsourcing of these ideas from large pool of employees. So I will give a quick recap of what we did here. What we did in strategy 4 is an idea boot camp. This was an extension of what we had been doing. Innovation ecosystem, we built a time-bound ideation challenge over it, and finally we did this idea boot camp. Now this boot camp took 11 associates to 15 associates to a offsite location. We did lots of ideation iterations, and finally we could get a very good number of ideas. Depth of ideas was really there, and it was an excellent way to ensure that the ideators are taken into an immersive environment. They could sense that culture, they could sense that kind of a sandbox. So looking at this strategy 4, what we realize is, of course, there are some merits of ideation challenge where we could reach out to large number of employees, generate ideas. Bootcamp was providing a better way to ensure that the ideators are taken to an environment where they contribute wholeheartedly. They clearly believe, clearly sense the need, and then we use specific methods and tools to extract the maximum out of them. And since these people are co-located, the boot camps are extremely efficient. So basically, there were some merits of ideation challenge, some merits of boot camp. So what we are currently working on is our strategy 5. This strategy 5 is to multiply the benefits of crowdsourcing of ideas across large number of employees and multiply the benefits with the benefits of an immersive boot camp. So this is the hybrid ideation model that we are currently working on. How is this going to work? So for a set of business challenges, innovation challenges, first we are going to run an ideation challenge which will be available for all our employees. Then we handpick specific ideas, we take them, we mature them quickly. All of these ideators along with the subject matter experts will be taken to an idea boot camp. This is where we will have the ideators who are putting their skin in the game. We will have the subject matter experts who will have a stake into the entire bootcamp outcome, and this is what we are currently experimenting on. So this is the 5th strategy that we are currently working on. Now let's look at what is the kind of benefit that we are expecting. Over a period of 2 months, we are expecting to generate 150 ideas. We are expecting to improve on the number of relevant ideas to a higher number, and of course, the blend of these two approaches is going to give us a good impact on organization culture in terms of high inclusivity, demonstrating our commitment for innovation, and celebrating teamwork and collaboration. Collaboration between the ideators, between the subject matter experts. So this is how we started our journey from ad hoc ideation to innovations ecosystem. Having invested there, we went to time-bound ideation challenge. Looking at the strengths and limitations of that, we came up with immersive bootcamp, and now we realize that to have a structured program, what we need is a blended approach which will provide inclusivity. At the same time, we go in depth of enriching those ideas further. And if we just map these strategies on a 2x2 matrix, this is what we see. So when we compare quality of ideas discovered versus impact on organization culture, the right hand side and the top side is showing on the higher side. So we clearly believe that in strategy 1, 2, 3, ad hoc ideation, ecosystem, and time-bound ideation challenge, we were improving a bit on enhancing our culture as well as quality of ideas discovered. But there was a quantum jump when we experimented with this immersive boot camp, and now we are expecting another quantum jump when we are going to experiment with this hybrid ideation model. So I hope you enjoyed the innovation journey, the evolution of different approaches that we have been experimented with, and we are very excited to continue this journey, and we clearly understand there are going to be lots of challenges, and we are delighted to overcome all these challenges. So any queries, we would be delighted to respond to your queries.
Thanks for the insightful presentation. Let's quickly take up the questions now. I request you to read out the questions and their answers so that all our users may listen to your insights. Are you able to see the questions in your question doc?
Yeah. Okay. So the first question that I see from Amrish Purohit, the question is, one of all the 5 strategies that was most effective that resulted in measurable outcome. So we would clearly say that as of now we have experimented the 4th strategy, and the 5th strategies we are currently working on. The 4th strategy that we showed, ideation bootcamp, it has helped us to generate 135 ideas, out of which 5 ideas we are elaborating the business cases, and we are hoping to get funding for at least 2 ideas. And of course there is an intangible outcome by which we have tried to influence the organization culture. But believe me, there is a tangible, measurable outcome that we see in terms of the ideas, the depth and relevance of these ideas. So that's about it. So let's move to the next question. Okay, this question is from Ashok Kumar. Once we have idea, what should we do to check whether it is successful or not? What sort of media or channel we can use to check its market demand? So I think it's the question is more about exploring the feasibility of that idea, attractiveness of that idea. I think what we need to do is first, if you are part of an organization and creating, coming up with these ideas, what you need to do is start spreading this message around, start approaching seniors, validate your idea, and what you need to articulate clearly well is what is that pressing business need that is basically getting solved by this idea. So if you are just getting inspired by a technology, and if you are not solving a peculiar need of the consumers or the customers, possibly that idea will not go in the market. So you need to be extremely sure what is that particular need or specific challenge that you are solving. How big is that challenge, and what will make it very compelling for the customer to buy your solution? I think that's the critical question that each one of us need to answer ourselves. So as a consumer, will you be interested in buying this? So once you understand the need, of course, what is the idea and what is the unique selling proposition? So if you can articulate the challenges faced, tag them with the features of your idea and come up with the relevant benefits, and of course reach out to your seniors, reach out to your experts in your organization, they will help you mature your idea. Okay, so the next question from Amrish Purohit again. So the question is, does the number of ideas and quality of ideas directly relate to the kind of people you hire? Do you see a defined need in the change of hiring practices to fill the organization up with creative people? So there are 2 parts of this thing. So how do we, so what the question is about, if we improve on the hiring processes, will we have more creative people, and then we'll improve on the number of ideas and quality? Answer is yes or no. We clearly believe that there is an untapped potential in the market, in our organization, that still is looking for avenues to share their ideas. Of course, if you bring creative people around, they will have lots of ideas, but if as an organization, if you are not able to cater to those creative energies, these people are going to get possibly frustrated. So it's a risky game. So you get great people, but you need to create great opportunities for them. So if you really ask me, as of now, the first thing that you have to do, if you are not already capturing those ideas, go ahead, start capturing, not just capturing, help the ideators to mature those ideas and take them to market. I think that is very critical. Of course, if you need to improve on the quality and depth, if you can recruit creative people, business people, you can really achieve wonders.
Yeah, this is Kiran. The next question is from Praveen Kumar, and Praveen asks, my question, he says that I am Praveen, my question is to Sai Prakash, okay, but Sai Prakash was talking for last 40 minutes, so I decided to take up your question. As you have observed increase in number of implementable ideas, can you also let me know the success rate achieved out of implemented ideas? Success rate achieved.
I think how many of these ideas actually?
Success, yeah, what I can narrate my experience is we captured around, again success is a very subjective term, but what I understand by that is kind of implemented and taken to the market. So out of 150 ideas, around 5 ideas we could shortlist. We nurtured those ideas, we created a business case, so you can assume that 5 out of 150 was a success rate. Then there is from Ambarish, the criteria used to select people for boot camp. What was the group of people who were left behind?
Okay. How did you manage? So we clearly understood that for the boot camp we need people who bring diverse set of competencies. So of course we had a group of, so when that entire evaluation process was created, we looked at assessing the technical skills, the domain skills, as well as the creativity skills of these people, as well as the manager recommendation. So with all of this, we could get a fair good mix of employees who are who bring the diversity of expertise in terms of technical knowledge, domain knowledge, market knowledge, product knowledge, and also who have during a psychometric test, the workshop that we conducted to assess these people showed clear indication for collaboration, teamwork, and going beyond their existing responsibility, being curious. So those were the kind of things when we actually looked at selecting people.
So the next one is what was the for a boot camp, what kind of environment we need? Okay, it's a great question actually. So first is go out of your office, because even if committed people are there, there is a possibility that some people have their customer calls, some people have to check the mails, but take them out of the office, number one. We said that it's an immersive experience, so we got a lot of people from outside who were subject matter experts. We showed them various clips or films to encourage them to think differently. We invited some people who were having completely different background, and we played various games. Also, the environment should be so conducive that this guy should be working at least for 18 hours a day. So sleep was for 6 hours. So the day used to start at around 4:35 and we used to go to bed late in the midnight. So the one-liner is immersive and very high flux environment, at the same time motivational. The next question is strategies. Apart from 5 strategies mentioned, were there any other strategies explored? Can you briefly mention those? How did you filter out the relevant strategy? Okay, to be very honest, this is Amit Jain. Okay, to be very honest, Amit, we are also exploring various opportunities, and this is a learning curve. we are working on a T model now, so which what we call as a deep dive across various business units. So the thing is, we are still exploring that, and that's it. How did you filter out the real strategy? It's not actually filtering. No? So we implemented the various strategies. We made lots of mistakes. It's an iterative process. So we went on adding some more things. Went to the next. That's why if you see strategy 1 to strategy 5, those are incremental strategies. And the strategy 6, 7 would be some enhancements from the existing strategies. This is Himanshu. The idea that were implemented last year, are we taking the benefit of it from time to time? Yeah, the answer is yes, Himanshu. As I said, we are also on that learning curve. We are in the process of implementing various ideas. So the ideas are incubation, I would say. I can't disclose more than that for various reasons. But we are making sure that customer adaptability as well as benefits are getting tracked every time.
Sai Prakash and Kiran to take the last question before summing up the session for today.
Okay, you talked about, this is from Saurabh. You talked about a boot camp. How do you make sure that it is effective and quality and the quality and genuine ideas get fair attention? Any criteria for participants and moderator selection for boot camp? So the thing is, it was, as I said, a very flux environment. We had around 10 iterations of ideas, right from brainstorming session, mind mapping session, hybrid brainstorming session. So at every stage, various ideas were getting filtered, and at every stage, the other group was becoming the reviewer of the previous group. So it was making sure that the effectiveness and quality and originality of the idea was filtered. At the same time, some subject matter experts and external people were invited from our company. So those played a role of a venture capitalist, or they played a role of an end customer doing actual very hard reviews on those ideas. So by that, we made sure that the quality, originality and effectiveness of the ideas were made sure. And in criteria for participants and moderator selection, I think Sai talked about it. We conducted a very rigorous process wherein psychometric tests and some open-ended briefs, and we asked them to showcase any creative work that they have done. And moderators were typically from core innovation group. So innovation group members are always trained from other perspective. They are getting exposure and they explore various avenues available, what is happening in innovation space. So it was a very rigorous and though time bound, it was a very focused exercise that we conducted. So thank you for all your great questions, and I would like to hand it over to Aradhana.
Yes, as we are running out of time, I would make sure that you receive the unanswered questions so that you can answer them offline, and I will share with you through email. So I'm really thankful to our guest speakers today for conducting this wonderful webinar. It was indeed a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for their support in making this webinar a success. The recording of the webinar will be available on techgig.com by tomorrow. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you, Sai Prakash. Thank you, Kiran, for all your time. Have a great evening ahead.